When we talk about discovering and knowing the truth of the world, it is necessary to examine an effective and powerful method called mysticism. Mysticism and spiritual knowledge are a 1,000-year-old way to know the truths of the world. By examining history, it can be seen that many ancient civilizations have moved towards finding the answer and the truth of the world in their own way due to the wise people and spiritual people they had among them. You can start from mysticisms in Eastern religions such as Tao, Buddhism, and Hinduism to the Middle East and mysticisms such as Sufism. Finally, in the west of the earth, that is, Latin America, and among the natives of this continent, ancient mysticisms and knowledge can be found, which can be classified as mysticism. In this video, we want to discuss one of the strangest of these mysticisms. The method has become popular in recent years and has caused a lot of noise. Indian mysticism and teachings of Don Juan. What is the world? The images that we see in a vague and mysterious way since we were born. None of us know exactly how to live and what to do with this strange world. Because we have only one chance. In this channel, we seek to discover the secrets. Hidden secrets that few people talk about in everyday life. Subscribe to us and press the bell icon. As it can be seen from the surveys, Indian mysticism is a type of naturalist mysticism, in the sense that they believe that the seeker should look for signs of truth in nature. For him, intuition is a concept that gains meaning in direct contact with nature. Researchers believe that naturalism has an ancient history. In ancient times, in order to understand life and the truth of the world, man more or less came to the conclusion that nature is the source of all his blessings as well as his troubles and torments. The very ground where different plants grow for him sometimes became weak under his feet and trembled. In order to discover the truth, the ancient man started to know nature. One of his most basic works was to give life to natural elements and give them souls. As a result, man was somehow able to communicate with the mysterious life-giving force and flow in nature, and in this way, he could get closer to the meaning of the world and its source, which is God. One of the mysticisms that was formed on this ancient basis in South America is the mysticism of the Toltec civilization in South America and Mexico today. This method of knowledge, which is considered one of the most famous Western mysticisms, is also known as eagle mysticism or witchcraft. But the global familiarity with this mysticism happened less than half a century ago. Previously, Indian spiritual masters kept this knowledge with them and passed it on to their children. It was in 1960 a person named Carlos Castaneda, who had traveled to Mexico to complete his doctoral dissertation in anthropology, met an Indian named Don Juan through one of his friends. A deep friendship develops between Carlos Castaneda and Don Juan, and after a while, the Indian introduces himself as a master of magic. As later Carlos Castaneda writes in his book, Don Juan is a man with great virtues and knowledge. Not much is known about Don Juan, because the only way to know him is through Carlos Castaneda's claims. According to what he has narrated in his book about this Indian spiritual master, after becoming a member of a spiritual witchcraft group and gaining access to the ancient knowledge of the Toltec civilization, he succeeds in attaining the position of master sorcerer, which is a great position in Indian mysticism. Castaneda gradually abandons the main purpose of his trip to Mexico, that is, anthropology and gathering information about medicinal plants, and accepts Don Juan's apprenticeship to learn the principles and secrets of witchcraft. Castaneda's training period lasts for almost a decade. During this period, Carlos Castaneda published his findings and spiritual lessons in 12 books, and these books somehow become the main reference and source of Indian mysticism in modern times. But what did spiritual master Don Juan teach Carlos Castaneda? By examining Castaneda's books, one can find many cases of mystical teachings and teachings, but in general, it is possible to introduce his mystical mysticism in two main axes: insight and authority. Insight means seeing the hidden truths of the world and nature. Insight is the readiness to receive the capacities and the truth of natural phenomena, which, if someone achieves them, the way to use the power of nature is open for him, and he can benefit from these forces with the help of his will. And what is the meaning of authority? In this mysticism, in order to discover the truth and progress, there are ways and steps to be followed. One of these stages is the warrior man stage. If someone succeeds in the right spiritual hunting at this stage, he becomes a person of knowledge and a wise person. And this is the first step of becoming a magician. It means the one who stops the world and uses the forces of the world, and goes along with them. In this mysticism, similar to many other mysticisms, the main belief is that everything we see and hear is nothing but a dream. Our minds are dreaming every day and every night. This mysticism introduces the general goal of achieving peace, love, and spiritual insight, and believes that to achieve it, we must master our consciousness. That means we should know where we came from and what we are looking for. This awareness causes the dust around the mind to fade, and a person realizes that he is dreaming. Mastering transformation and mastering love are also necessary techniques for a person to reach the main goal in life. This mysticism believes that in the stage of mastering love, we align with the spirit of nature and with divinity, and the will of nature or the main source becomes our will. By examining their instructions, one can find many similarities between Eastern mysticism and the Middle East, that they advise you not to sin with your words because words are a force for creation. Do not attribute anything to yourself, because the source of everything is divine power, and man is only a drop of this sea. Always do your best so that you don't feel regret in the end, because the best state is for a person to be satisfied with himself. And finally, never have baseless ideas, because sorrows are all rooted in our imaginations.